Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Popcraft Studios of turning more characters from the amazing digital circus into SCPs. That's right, we're on to the second episode of it now, and let's hop in. I mean, he doesn't really have too many characters to choose from. He's got Ragatha, Kingo, Nagel, oh, I guess maybe he could do Bubble. No, Zoobles. There we go. I don't think he did Zooble in the last one. And he did Clotho.
Like how the pilot episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is doing incredibly well for Glitch Productions' YouTube channel,
Damn, that's
my
a lot.
first episode of turning the characters from that into SCPs is doing
Jax,
incredibly well for Popcross
Kane,
Studios. And I greatly appreciate
and
subscribers
Pomni.
new and old for giving me a lot of great suggestions for characters that I could use in
Oh, and
today's sequel
Kaufmo.
episode.
Yeah, that's
and while
right.
I do still think there's some more creative things I could do with these characters, like turn them into dragons or into Marvel and DC superheroes, if this is
That could
working
be
for
cool.
people, then I am very happy to keep milking this gravy train until it stops giving honey. Which is definitely how that saying goes. Don't look it up. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go.
Yes, milking a gravy train. Yes, milking a gravy train for honey.
Hit like
Oh boy.
if you want. Subscribe.
I don't
if
think
you
that
feel
saying
like.
works at all,
Either
but that
way,
would make a damn
enjoy
good
the show.
shot. Let's go.
Good evening and welcome back
And of course, we're starting off with pretty much the nicest lady in the entire circus, Ragatha.
to our second lecture on the digital entities found within the realm classified as SCP-D700, also known as the Digital Circus. The information we've learned is still actively being updated by observing this realm through the eyes of SCP operative Elizabeth Freeman, whom, upon
AKA
becoming trapped
Popni.
in the circus, forgot everything about
I mean
herself in
Pomni,
the real
not
world and
Popni.
is currently being referred to within as Pomni. Of course, prior to commencing, I would like to make some corrections to our previous lecture on these subclassified SCP-D entities. Firstly, I referred to D701, aka Pomni, as resembling a clown in a jester's hat, when more accurately her entire form appears more like that of a jester.
Bingo.
Secondly, I previously stated that entity D704, aka Jax, is unable to separate its teeth, but this has been proven false as during an incident where another entity choked D704, it did indeed open its mouth fully, teeth and all.
That's right.
Now, on to today's first new entity document. Item number SCP-D705. Object class, safe. Special
course.
containment procedures. D705 is contained within the digital circus, D700, and our intent is to free her along with Agent Freeman, as well as the other beings trapped within.
Good luck.
Amnestics will likely be given to non-SCP operatives once freed to ensure they do not recall what happened when trapped in this realm. Description: D705 resembles a child's rag doll, but is fully sentient, more proportional to a human, and stands at a slightly taller height than Agent Freeman's form in the circus. Additional note, heights are difficult to determine
She's
due
a good
to the
Raggedy
nature
Ann.
of this reality. Dr. Jack Bright has suggested we measure the
boy.
entities in how many gloinks tall they are, but thankfully this inane suggestion has been ignored.
Damn it, Bright. It's
D705
always
has
you.
a button in place of one eye, while the other appears more akin to that of a normal human being's eye. She has taken on the name of Ragatha, and appears to be the most upbeat of the beings trapped in this realm. Though unconfirmed, as many of our facts...
I wouldn't say upbeat. I would say content. Because if you remember in the episode, when C's talking about how people can go crazy talking about the exit, you can pretty much see her just about to dip over the edge. But she pulls back just in time.
about this realm
there we go.
are, from conversations overheard by our observing operatives, it is believed that D705 has been trapped in this realm for the second longest amount of time after D707, whom we will discuss later. In spite
must
of
be
this, she
Kingo.
appears to have the most positive demeanor, other than, of course, the ringmaster D702, who is still
Kane.
believed to be an artificially intelligent entity not trapped in this realm like Ragatha and the others. Upon our agent Freeman entering this realm and forgetting who she was, D705 was the most welcoming and comforting towards her, showing Agent Freeman to her own room of the circus. Unfortunately, she was also briefly injured by entity D708, discussed in our prior lecture,
Yeah,
but Kane,
Kaufmo.
D702, was able to heal her injuries instantaneously upon learning she had been harmed.
All just by
Now,
going?
we have begun to make some headway in tracking the locations of the other entities trapped in this realm, including Ragatha. With Foundation personnel working nearly around the clock to decrypt signals
I actually kind of like how you gave her two different colored hands. It's nice.
going in
I don't
and
know why,
out
but
of
it's
this
nice.
realm, we believe an IP address has been found for the being from our world who is stuck in the digital circus in the form of Ragatha. The owner of the home we have tracked the signal to is one Amanda Hufford in Houston, Texas. Operatives
Oh,
have been
she's
sent to
Texan.
her home, but strangely it seems to be abandoned. It is possible our decryptors have found inaccurate information, but upon locating past footage of this woman online, her voice and the cadence of her speech patterns does sound identical to that of the entity known as Ragatha.
There you go.
This document shall be updated when we acquire more information or confirmation of this theory.
That's a pretty damn good theory, because as we saw at the end of the episode with Pomni, it's true. You just go poof from this world.
Well, admittedly, I do not fully understand why. Many who listened
excuse me.
to our previous lecture were adamant that I discuss this next entity. Our document on her was rather light, as she had not been observed to do much as of yet, but upon many requests, we have investigated
Damn.
further into this entity so that she could be elaborated on in
So
more
much
detail.
love.
Item number SCP-D706. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures, identical to D705. Description. D706, referred to within the circus as Gangle, appears initially as a humanoid being, but whose form is completely hollow and constructed by red ribbons. In place of a normal face...
Also, it's kind of hard to tell if she's made out of more than just one or just one singular red ribbon. And I kind of like the idea that she's made out of one, and like it starts with one hand, goes and creates the rest of her body, like the torso, loops to make the other hand before doing the same, and ending as one foot. And like that would be kind of cool, especially since we saw what happened to her when she was grabbed by Kingo and dragged down into the glunk pit.
She wears one of two masks, similar to the comedy and tragedy masks often used to represent stage theater, originating back to ancient
two masks,
Greece.
just one over the other.
When first found in the circus, she was observed wearing the more jovial comedy mask, but when she was bumped into by entity D707, the mask fell off, revealing behind it the second mask with the opposite expression.
There it
The
is.
fallen comedy mask was also soon broken, meaning that for some time D706 was stuck with only her tragedy mask. It also appears that whichever mask this entity is wearing has some form of control over her demeanor. She can choose to switch between the two, but if one is forcibly or accidentally removed, then D706's mood will immediately change to be more in line with the mask being worn.
Just like number
Because
35.
of this, when her
Isn't
comedy
that right?
mask was broken, until it was fixed,
Yeah,
she
shut
was
up.
unable to feel any positive emotions. This has led some in the Foundation to wonder if a new mask could be constructed for this entity with another expression that could then control this entity's demeanor further. For
Would be
instance,
cool.
if a mask was constructed with a furious expression, could that then be placed on the entity to make it angry and lash out at others? Or is there something
Ooh,
special
maybe.
about the two masks that D706 possesses that makes them uniquely linked to its being? It also leads to the question of what this entity's true form is like outside of this realm. Perhaps this being has bipolar disorder in the real world,
I was just
causing
about
her
to say
have
that.
unusually rapid shifts in mood, energy levels, and concentration. This could then have manifested into the form she took on in this realm. Agent Elizabeth Freeman is known by
Maybe.
her closer colleagues to be a particularly funny person, so it is possible that that is what caused her form in this realm to be that of a jester.
Oh.
These speculations are still being researched to try and find some tangible proof, but for the time being they are good avenues to explore for those of you researching these entities.
Oh, you know what? I guess for Kaufmo, people at his work probably could have said, "Man, the guy's nothing but a clown, I tell you that. Sometimes I wish he would just disappear." And then
Quick
poof.
interruption here to show you the most beautiful thing I have ever made in my
Hey!
life. Monsters of the Multiverse, my very first art book, which is officially released as of today. And I was
Awesome,
able
man!
to update it last minute, so it has 3 drawings from the episode you're watching right now. For $35 American plus taxes and shipping, you get a 132-page full-color book with 226 of my absolute best monster and creature drawings.
Oh, hell
It's got dragons and
yes.
fantasy beasts, SCPs, demons, kaiju, dinosaurs, and so much more. I just got this proof copy, and I am seriously freaking out about how good it looks. If
That
you
is
want to get a copy
cool.
of this in yourself, it will be linked in the cards and in the description and the pinned comment. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say. I am just so excited that this is finally a thing. Check it out if you're interested, but for now, back into more SCPs.
Man, I wish I had a bookshelf. Oop, hold on, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Another entity
With
we currently
Kingo.
know little about, but will open discussion and research into now, is... I'm sorry, it seems we have a question from... Oh no. Yeah, Jack Bright here, Prof. Why are you always saying
Oh,
things
damn it.
like discuss when you're doing these lectures? I mean, they're kind of always just you talking at us, right? It's not really a discussion. I suppose that is a valid criticism, but if you wish to address it further, then you and I can discuss it in private after this lecture.
There you
Please
go, that's how you
refrain from
discuss.
interrupting again. Anyhow, let us move on to item number SCP-D707. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures, identical to prior entries. Description. D707,
Why are you
referred
showing
to
his
within
legs?
this realm as Kinger, resembles a sentient king chess piece. He has floating hands and wears a long red cape with a fur lining, reminiscent of...
I would honestly call that more of a purple color, but that's probably just from the scene you got in. And what about his eyes? Would you not say those are floating? Those aren't in any sockets. I mean it's just like someone just took one of those googly eyes, just glued it on. And was like, yep, there you go. He's got an eye.
of the
God, I
mantle
feel
or
sorry
royal
for the guy at
garment
some
worn
points.
during coronations. He has 2 large skewed eyes, but no other facial features. In spite of having no visible mouth, he is still able to speak.
And
he often
scream.
appears to be concerned or afraid, and others in the digital circus have referred to him as being, in their terms, crazy. While he does exhibit
Well, yeah, he was
unusual
crazy
and
once,
somewhat manic
so they put him in a
behavior,
room.
often flailing
A
his
rubber
hands
room.
about as he speaks and his eyes looking off in different directions at random, we do believe he is still largely of sound mind. He can convey his thoughts into clear statements and has willingly helped his fellow prisoners during difficult situations, showing a fair degree of understanding
Damn,
of the
that's a
events
good coat.
transpiring around him. Further evidence of his sanity is that in cases of abstraction, an ailment in this realm discussed in regards to D708, when one truly does lose their mind in D700, they will be altered into a glitching black monstrous form.
With
So,
many
seeing
eyes.
as how this has not happened to D707, there is likely more going on within his mind than his counterparts in the digital circus are willing to acknowledge. Our speculations about the forms of these entities being linked to elements of their true selves has led some in the Foundation to consider that he was once either royalty, or otherwise quite wealthy, or that he was a master chess player. 7
Maybe
years
a
ago, the
CEO?
winner of 3 consecutive U.S. chess championships, a man named Sean Chiplock, mysteriously disappeared. The Foundation did not look into this at the time, as nothing anomalous was believed to have happened to him. It is a very loose possible link, but we have a researcher waiting to find out how long D707 has been trapped in this realm. If the entity has been trapped in the digital circus for as long as Chiplock has been missing, then that would likely prove them to be one in the same. I
People do
personally
say he is
see
the
it as
oldest.
unlikely for this to pan out, but all avenues are worth exploring.
Seriously, how are the eyes attached? You could have even had like the stems wrapped
Our final
around.
entity for today is not believed to be one of the entities who is a human being trapped in this realm, but more likely another artificially intelligent
This
program,
thing ain't human.
though this could be proven false in the future. Item number SCP-D71.
I mean, could it? It's already dead. Kaufmo ordered a new one.
D710. Object class, Euclid.
New ones,
Special
I guess.
containment procedures. D710 currently resides within a nest she has built for herself in the basement of the digital circus, not to be confused with the cellar where the abstracted D708 is currently held. She has thus far shown no ability or desire to leave this area. Description: D710 refers to herself as the Queen of the Gloinks. She is roughly 50 times the volume of Agent Freeman's form in this realm, and somewhat resembles a slug or particularly rotund snake. Her flesh is largely red, with yellow spots along with a purple elevated lining running along her side. She appears to have 2 heads, but one is mainly used for speech and consumption, while the other seems more often to be used to expel waste. She has 12 eyes of various sizes protruding from her main head and 8 on the other. This entity seems to be the leader of a group of beings referred to as the Gloinks. They are small, colorful shapes, each with 2 eyes and a mouth, that move by rolling and hopping along their environment. They also have a proclivity to steal any item they interact with by pressing themselves against it and thereafter having the item stuck to them. Their movement and traversal speed seem to be completely unhindered by the weight of whatever they have stuck themselves to.
Yeah, they can clip.
They also tend to bring these items down to the basement to their queen for either consumption or to continue building her nest. D710 has also proven to be hostile towards entities that are not one of her Gloinks. She has stated clearly that she believes everyone and everything should be Gloinks.
Everything must
Some
be
suspect
Gloink.
that it is possible she can convert other items and beings into Gloinks by consuming them and holding them within her body for a long enough period of time, but that is purely speculation at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever
She
see
has
that
been
happen.
seen to consume part of the body of one of the trapped beings in this realm, but that being was then expelled from D710 and had not been physically altered in any way, suggesting that this theory is false, and that, while she is not friendly towards the other entities, she cannot truly do them harm in the same way that an abstracted being can. Now, we have not covered every being found in this realm, and another lecture is certainly likely, though we may have to wait some time so that we can acquire more information and have enough to elaborate on next time.
Ah, come on,
Thank
we
you
can
for
discuss.
your time, and good night.
Well, damn. I wanted to see you do Zoobles. And figured out her crazy form, because she's literally the definition of abstract art.
If you enjoyed this, I'd of course recommend going back to the first episode if you haven't seen it. I'll have it linked in the description. Or if you're new here, you might want to check out some of the other cool stuff that I make on this channel. Since Invincible Season 2 starts today, you might want to watch my famous Dragons as Superheroes episode. Or if you like stuff like Little Nightmares and horror video games, you might like my horror video game characters as Marvel Superheroes episode. Also, even though I haven't done Zooble yet, we don't really have enough characters for a 3rd episode of this yet. Maybe when the 2nd episode of the show comes out. But I do have an idea for putting Pomni on the Suicide Squad that I really like, so maybe I'll do a Superheroes episode of this next.
Yeah,
I'm also open to suggestions. Let me know what you want me to do with digital circus characters in the comments. And besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is a quote I read this week from a woman named Dr. Caroline Leaf, who said that rejection is a sign that you showed up. Be proud of yourself for stepping forward despite the outcome. Remember that every time you take yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and push towards something you're trying to achieve or get, even if you don't get it that time, you've given yourself a chance that people who aren't trying don't have. I hope that's inspiring. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Monday. Goodbye.
And folks, that's going to be the end of today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.